The top story though, Pakistan's cabinet meet has concluded. However, there's no decision that's been taken on Masood Azhar. Remember, Pakistan's Prime Minister Imran Khan was to decide on whether or not to arrest the JEM chief Masood Azhar. The decision will now likely be taken at another high-level meeting scheduled for later today. Meanwhile, WION's Anas Malik put forth a pointed question to the spokesperson of Pakistan's Foreign Ministry on Azhar. This is the response that he got.
The Foreign Minister recently made a statement with regards to the UN listing of Masood Azhar at Pakistan will have to take its decisive decision by the 12th of March. Yesterday we saw the Chinese State Councillor as well in his visit. So has there been any decision in that?
Masood Azhar, the decision will be taken in our national interest.
The focus now shifts to the high-level meeting that Imran Khan is to chair later today. Now, Masood Azhar failed to figure as a point of discussion in the cabinet meeting due to the absence of the Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi. Now, the heads of the three military services and the ISI will participate in today's high-level meeting. This follows recommendations by Pakistan's Interior Ministry that the JEM chief Masood Azhar be arrested. The big question now will be whether or not Imran Khan will give his consent for Azhar's arrest. Now, this, of course, could have major law and order implications for Pakistan. There's been mounting pressure from the global community, and responding to that, the Jaish-e chief Masood Azhar's son and brother were among the 44 members of banned terror outfits taken into preventive detention on Tuesday by Pakistan. Now, local administration in Pakistan's capital Islamabad have taken control of mosques and more than 182 seminaries run by banned outfits. 121 people have been detained from various parts of the country in this ongoing crackdown against banned outfits. Yesterday, as per reports, several people were arrested as the Khan government intensified operations against proscribed organizations in Pakistan. Now, it's being carried out under the National Action Plan, which Pakistan's State Minister for Interior says will continue until its objectives are met. At least 25 mosques of the Jamaat-ud-Dawa, the Falaya-Insaniyat Foundation and other banned outfits have been taken over by the government. Most of these mosques are located on the outskirts of Islamabad, where local administration has appointed new imams and made several arrests. The crackdown by Pakistani law enforcement agencies against banned outfits and other measures came into effect following a high-level meeting by the Imran Khan government amid efforts to lower simmering tensions between Pakistan and India. The Mumbai attack mastermind Hafiz Saeed has suffered a setback. The United Nations has rejected his appeal to delist him from the list of banned terrorists. India, France, the United States and the United Kingdom had opposed the plea of the Lashkar-e-Toiba founder at the world body. Significantly, faced with global outrage, Pakistan chose not to oppose the UN action. In fact, Pakistan blocked the visa requests of UN officials who were to interview Hafiz Saeed as part of the process. India had provided detailed evidence of Saeed's terror activities. He is also the head of the UN-designated terrorist organization Jamaat-ud-Dawa, which was banned in December 2008 by the UN Security Council after the Mumbai terror attacks. He had filed an appeal with the United Nations in 2017 while under house arrest in Pakistan. Pakistan has extended the general closure of its airspace for today as well, making this the 7th day in a row that the country's airspace has been restricted. Today also marks 1 week and a day since Pakistan closed its airspace last Wednesday following growing tensions with India. Karachi, Peshawar, Quetta, Islamabad, Lahore and the Faisalabad airports are the only functional ones in the country as of now, but even those are subjected to routing restrictions. This has caused huge economic losses for the country and the airlines as well. This closure has disrupted not just Pakistan's air transport but flights worldwide, as airlines were forced to cancel or reroute flights to other destinations. The closure has disrupted major routes between Europe and Southeast Asia. Many flights to the United States and Europe have had to take a longer route that stretched the travel time. Pakistan had earlier opened its airspace for commercial flights in phases from the 1st of March. Meanwhile, the Indian Air Force has released a statement after Pakistan confirmed that their airspace will be closed for another day. The IAF has reiterated that it is in a high state of preparedness and will proactively engage in any perceived threat in the current situation. Now, the ongoing tensions between India and Pakistan have made headlines across the world. The international media has covered the major developments since the Pulwama attack in Kashmir to India's airstrikes in Pakistan. But the Western media's coverage of the unfolding tensions comes across as biased, particularly against India. Sample the New York Times report, which questions India's capability of waging a war. The article declared that the dogfight between India and Pakistan's air forces was a rather humbling experience for India. The article came under sharp criticism and was described as ill-founded as well. The NYT article failed to report the detailed Indian claim of India's MiG-21 Bison shooting down Pakistan's F-16. Also, CNN failed to report the facts. The American-based news channel consistently stated that New Delhi had blamed Pakistan-based terrorist groups for the suicide attack in Kashmir, but it did not bother to mention that the Pakistan-based Jaish-e-Mohammed had itself claimed responsibility for the Pulwama massacre and even released a video to the effect and showed the suicide bomber making a statement which was recorded before the attack. Right, we're cutting across straight away to Jammu, where there is a press briefing that's being held by the Jammu IGP. He is, of course, detailing what's taken place following that blast. Let's listen in.
ये जो जम्मू कश्मीर पुलिस की टीम जिसने इस काम को किया है वाकई सराहनीय काम है और ये ग्रेनेड ब्लास्ट 11:50 में हुआ और चंद घंटों में पुलिस ने कार्रवाई करके इस बंदे को नैप किया है। इसलिए ये जम्मू कश्मीर पुलिस के लिए ये सुबह में जम्मू पहुंचा है। ये सुबह में जम्मू पहुंचा है। अभी ये एसरटेन कर रहे हैं, यासिर की उम्र अभी एसरटेन कर रहे हैं। इन जितनी भी अभी इनपुट्स आती हैं वो सभी क्राउडेड प्लेसेस, रिलीजियस प्लेसेस, ये जेनरिक इनपुट्स होती हैं। इसकी जानकारी अभी हमारे पास नहीं है कि इसको क्या स्पेसिफिक टारगेट दिया गया था या इसको जेनेरिक टारगेट दिया गया। एक एक करके पूछेंगे।
जम्मू तक कितने पुलिस के नाके हैं, कैसे ये इस तरह के उठ के यहाँ से आ गया? चेकिंग ऐसी होती है, क्या वो करप्शन के लिए चेकिंग होती है कि वाकई में किसी को पकड़ने की होती है?
ये आपका जो सवाल है इसका मैं क्या अर्थ लगाऊं? नाके पर ही अगर पकड़ा गया बंदा तो
जो आप कह रहे हैं बेहुदा है।
Instead of appreciating the work that is done, I mean, do you concede this, that it is an important success on the part of the police party over there that they could apprehend him?
सर, इसमें आपने ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड के बारे में बताया कि
जी अभी ये सब इतनी जानकारी नहीं, he has brought it from Kashmir. That is because it is a crowded place and it has maximum impact. कोई स्पेसिफिक इनपुट ऐसी नहीं, कोई जेनेरिक इनपुट्स आते रहते हैं लेकिन कोई स्पेसिफिक इनपुट इस तरह।
क्या था? कम्युनल टेंशन फैलाना था?
ये अभी तफ्तीश करेंगे तो आपको बताएंगे मोटिव के बारे में।
All right, that was the IGP in Jammu updating the media on the apprehension and arrest of a suspect relating to the Jammu grenade attack which took place earlier today. Remember, 30 people have been injured and one person has died on account of that explosion. We'll get you updates on that story as and when they come in, but let's move on for now. NASA has announced that an all-female crew will conduct a spacewalk at the ISS, or the International Space Station, on the March 29th. This is, of course, a historic first. But the news comes on the day that the first female U.S. fighter pilot says she was raped while she served in the military.
Like you, I am also a military sexual assault survivor. But unlike so many brave survivors, I didn't report being sexually assaulted. Like so many women and men, I didn't trust the system at the time. I blamed myself. I was ashamed and confused. And I thought I was strong, but felt powerless. The perpetrators abused their position of power in profound ways. And in one case, I was preyed upon and then raped by a superior officer. I stayed silent for many years, but later in my career, as the military grappled with scandals and their wholly inadequate responses, I felt the need to let some people know I too was a survivor. I was horrified at how my attempt to share generally my experiences were handled.
Senator Martha McSally became the United States Air Force's first female combat pilot. She made these comments during the Senate Armed Services Subcommittee hearing. The Air Force did not respond to her allegations. McSally's disclosure comes on the heels of U.S. Army veteran Senator Joni Ernst saying she had been raped in college by someone she knew. Mark Zuckerberg has said that Facebook will soon start to emphasize new privacy shielding messaging services. In a blog, the Facebook CEO outlined his vision to transform Facebook into a privacy-focused platform. Now, in the past few years, the social media giant has come under fire for a series of privacy scandals. In response, Zuckerberg plans to bring together its Messenger, WhatsApp and Instagram services so that the user will be able to contact each other across all applications. The plan calls for all these apps to be integrated in such a manner so that no one but senders and recipients can see the content of the messages. Zuckerberg also added that encrypted messaging will create scope for new business tools, especially ones around payments and commerce. But the social media giant did not offer a timeline for his vision. He said that the changes would take place over the next few years. Facebook Vice President and Global Policy Head Joel Kaplan has apologized to India's parliamentary panel. The apology was over remarks made by employees of Facebook on terrorism and the recent Pulwama attacks. The panel, headed by Anurag Thakur of the BJP, expressed concern over Facebook's inability to prevent the misuse of social media. Citizens' rights across social media platforms was another area of concern.
समाज को बांटने का काम इन प्लेटफॉर्म्स के माध्यम से ना हो, हिंसा या फिर गाली गलौज का काम ना हो, भारत की सुरक्षा पे कोई खतरा इनके कारण ना हो और भारत जो दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा लोकतंत्र है उसके चुनावों में कोई विदेशी हस्तक्षेप ना हो, ये सब सुनिश्चित करने के लिए इनको कहा गया है ताकि इन प्लेटफॉर्म्स का मिसयूज ना हो और बायस ना हो.
Facebook was also asked to engage with the Election Commission of India ahead of the 2019 general elections. In response, Facebook promised to engage more with the Election Commission and prioritize the Indian elections, national security and the protection of citizens' rights as its top priorities.